Good morning. Today's video is going to be story time. So I have a bit of a news and an update on my shop. So maybe you want to grab a cuppa for this one. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have this shop since last year. Oh my God, it's going to be almost a year in July, at the end of July. I got it at the end of July last year. And from the beginning, we knew it was going to be a pop-up, a temporary measure, because the buildings are very, very old. I am based in Amsterdam, and the old part of Amsterdam is basically on a swamp. And so they're going to fix all the foundations. The foundations are over 100-year-old wooden stills that they go all the way down to much more stronger through the water and clay. Anyhow, they're going to be fixing the foundation and they're going to be fixing the buildings. So we knew I was only going to be here until most likely the end of this year. So I also been telling you that the shop is not been doing all that well. And there are two reasons for it. The first one is that the students are practically gone now. There's very few younger people walking around. And also, it's not just the shop that's going to be closed, of course, it's the neighbors. So loads of the neighbors are already gone. So it's very, very, very quiet here. I mean, sometimes I don't even get one person coming in. Some days I get one person, So I've not been coming as regularly as I used to because I have other stuff to do at home. And sometimes it's just not worth coming here. So obviously, this was kind of an experiment because I really genuinely loved started doing my channel, and then when I got the opportunity to have the shop, I was so excited because I always wanted to have a shop in Amsterdam. And has been a dream come true. And the amount of business that I've learned by being here is being amazing. Now, financially, it's not been all that great. But having said that, it's not being all that bad either. I have a very, very small budget to make this work. And I'm very pleased to say that I touch 1%, 5% of that budget. And the rest is being the shop. The shop is being paying for everything. Some money from YouTube, not loads, because I spend a lot of time working for YouTube and there's not a lot of money coming through. So some money from YouTube, some sales that I've done online, and the rest is been here in the shop. Obviously, with not having people coming along, or having very, very few people coming in, the money is kind of drying in a way. But I've been thinking whether or no I wanted to carry on with the, let's move a little bit, let's get a little bit of a different viewpoint. I've been thinking whether or no I actually wanted to carry on having a shop because, yes, I mean, having a shop is being fantastic. I thoroughly have enjoyed having the shop. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy, everything is being positive about me being here. There are many things that I would have done differently, but I have learned so much from having a space where I can create items and people will buy them. I think it's been an amazing learning curve. So moving forward, I knew I wanted to have another shop. So I've been looking for another place almost since I moved in here because, I always knew this was going to be temporary. I think I mentioned to you quite a long back. I think I mentioned to you that I had a gentleman that came in that used to be a sales maker, a maker for sales, for boat sales. And he came in and said, "Oh, you upcycling, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Yeah, I make things out of old textiles." And he gave me, he wanted to give me some of his scraps so I can use them. So he doesn't need to throw them away because, the one thing I really like from the Netherlands is that the recycling and upcycling and the circular economy is thin. And very, very lots of people are very much involved with the circular economy, so to keep things going forward. So he was interested on giving me his scraps so I can carry on and do something with it. So months and months passed by, And I felt really, he gave me his address and everything. He was a neighbor in here, in the buildings around where I am right now, in Andreas, Bonnstraat. And that's why he knew I was here. For months, I didn't actually went to visit him and take on his word of, and take his scraps. So I felt really guilty. One day, I was walking here because I used to cycle a lot, but I love walking, and walking from home here is 25 minutes, and it is so gorgeous. Amsterdam is so gorgeous, and I get to walk mostly along the river, so it is fantastic. I love the flowers. I love everything about it. So when the weather is good, and it's been a few months, that is walkable, I walk because I like. So one day I was walking back here to the shop. Well, I was walking to the shop when I passed his studio. His studio is not far away from here. And I saw him working through the window. I saw him working, and I passed. And I felt so guilty that the man have come here and talked to me and everything. And I felt so guilty, and I thought, this is kind of rude. Let me just come and say hello and apologize for not coming, and just say thank you for thinking of me. And if you have any scraps, I'll take them. And I thought it would be the nicest thing to do, just to come and say hello. So I did. I went in, I said hello to him, and we have a chat. And then he tells me that not only was he leaving Andreas Bonnstraat, where he used to live, he's already gone, but he was also leaving the studio because he, at the time that we were talking, I think he might be in his early 60s. So he had enough of doing sales, and he was going to go and do some music because he used to be a music producer. He told me about all his gigs that he was doing internationally. He's quite an interesting guy, actually. So we were chatting, and he said, yeah, I'm going to leave the studio. And I'm pretty sure they were looking for somebody else. And I think, because he knew, of course, that I was going to be living here, eventually, he said that I think you'll be the perfect match for them. Them being the owners of the workshop. Them being a couple, middle-aged couple, maybe a couple of years older than me. I'm 56. So maybe in their mid to late 50s. And they are a couple that are artisans themselves. They work with glass. They do architectural glass pieces. Very interesting stuff. Anyway, he said, I think you'll be a very good match for them. So I said, well, you know what? I'm actually looking for a shop because I liked what I've been doing here, and I will carry on doing it. I want to develop. There's so many ideas. I know in my videos I talk to you about so many textiles and so many things, but I want to do so much with textiles, with crochet, with beads, with jewelry, with embroidery. I want to do so much. I don't think there's one lifetime enough to be able to do everything I want to do. So anyway, I say to him, yeah, I'm definitely looking for another space. Would you put a word for me? And I said, yeah, I absolutely would tell them. And we left it at that. So then a few days passed by, and I'm thinking, you know what? I think that place is so much better located than this one. Here is very quiet. He said to me, where his studio used to be is a much more richer neighborhood. And therefore, your products will do better in that sense. I never really thought of, because I didn't know. When I say to you that I learn a lot about business, I've learned a lot about business, okay? And yeah, of course, I knew around here wasn't that busy, but I didn't think that just moving away is probably about 300, 400 meters away from here. Not even a half a kilometer, but it is like really behind the Amstel. Actually, this morning I walked in and I filmed a little bit coming from the Amstel here. So I'm going to put this in here so you have an idea of where the place is. Good morning. We start today by the river. Behind me, you can see one of the boat houses. We just passed through the restaurant that's called the Icebreaker, a really nice restaurant bar, pretty high-end. The reason why we're here is because I've been keeping a secret from you. Let me turn you around. So we're going to be walking towards what is going to be my next shop. So that's the river, and this will be my new boutique. I hope editing Luz have done a good job putting the clips from the Amstel into the shop. Anyway, after I spoke to him, there was a couple of days that I was thinking, you know what, I really would like to talk to this couple, and I really would like to see if we are a good match, if the place is something that they will want me to open as a shop, because he was working as in a studio close to the public studio, so like an atelier really, showing his sales, not really opening to the public. So one day I did the same thing. I was walking back and I passed through the shop, and they were there themselves. Paul, the guy that used to be there, was already gone, and they were cleaning up and tidying up and start working on the studio. And I say to him, I spoke to them and I said, oh, my name is Luz. And I said, oh, yeah, well, I know who you are. And I said, Paul mentioned me and mentioned that you guys were looking for somebody else to take the shop. And then we have a really long conversation, and they were a really lovely couple. One thing that struck me was the fact that they were really looking forward to have an atelier there. They wanted to bring back trade on the street. They want to bring back. In Amsterdam there is such shortage of housing that loads of commercial properties like this one have been converted into residential properties. So the street where the shop is, or the atelier is all of it have been converted into residential. So it's basically dead, really. I mean, it's just people living in there. It's not really a commercial area anymore, even though the Icebreaker, the restaurant, is just behind there, which is really, really nice. And then there is the, I think I showed you in the clips, there is a hairdresser right in the corner, in front of the corner of the shop. Most part of the street is just residential. So they themselves want to bring back the ateliers. How do I explain this? They wanted to bring back a sense of life to the streets that it used to be there. They've been living in their house that owns the flat. They've been living there for over 30 years, for what I understand. And they say to me, you know, we could rent it out to Immaculex. Immaculex are real estate. We could rent it out to solicitors. We could rent it out as offices. But we want a trade. We want somebody making something here. And then they said, oh, after Paul told us that, we went to your shop, walked around the shop and looked through the window and everything. And I think it's super cute what you're doing. We will be, and then they obviously checked the YouTube channel, checked my website and everything. And I said, I think you will be a perfect match for here. So we really get on very well, and we liked each other very much. So from there, we shake hands, and basically I was going to be the tenant. I say it like it's not going to happen. It is going to happen. The problem being, the building itself is over 30 years old. And so they are replacing all the windows, trying to bring it back to the original windows of the house. And they're trying to smart it up. They have put a lot of insulation in the floors, on the walls. They're putting a whole batch of windows. They're putting double doors. Actually, A while back, I did a few clips. I went to talk to them again, and I've done a few clips. So I think I'm gonna put those clips in here so you can see what I'm talking about. So they've been working here for a little bit already. They're measuring the glass to get some wood, to get the wood ready. The floors are done, insulation on the floors already. The walls are still gonna be worked on. And in here, this is gonna be really, really cool. In here, this is gonna do a double door entrance to the shop, and then that's gonna be one window, and this window is gonna come and totally brand new, and that one is gonna be one solid pane of glass, to here, and then one with a little curve at the top. It's gonna be really pretty. And then in here, I will have a lot of storage. That's the glass. That's the glass for the windows and the doors. And that is the back of the shop. I change angles. I think a change is as good as anything else. So what has happened is that they are doing all that work in the shop. The shop is a similar size as these two rooms. You know, in here I have an extra room at the back that I hardly use. And then they also have like a little mini kitchenette and a toilet and a little tiny bit of storage. So I think I showed you in the clips that as you see it from the beginning of the video, all in the left is like, there's like a meter retired. So that would be where my storage is gonna be. The rest of the shop, it would be for me to do a shop, to do all the jewelry, to do some of the bags. I'm planning to I have 3 or 4 items in my mind of what I want to do with the products that I want to create myself. And so I know what I'm going to be having in the shop. Mostly I'm going to be having the jewelry and some of my upcycles. I'll talk to you about that later on. I'm figuring out what has sold, what has done well, what has have got people coming back, and what I don't want to do. So what you don't want to do is so important. It's so important because I have done so many different lines of things in here to see what will stick, and then what I want to do and what I don't want to do to carry on working, if you know what I mean. So I think the jewelry is going to be a number one because I sell jewelry. If a person walks in, there's a very high percentage chance that they buy a piece of jewelry made by me. And that's fantastic. I'll talk to you in a bit about how I feel about not having that many sales now and still opening another shop. The products that I'm going to be using are mainly my upcycles. I would maybe have some secondhand pieces. If I find anything that's extraordinary, I will put it in the shop. For most part, it will be my stuff at the beginning. What I really, really would love to do is to have some cabinets where I could curate either designers and give either designers a chance to have their own jewelry maybe, or other makes, hopefully handmade and hopefully upcycled. I have a few people in mind that I might want to contact in the future. It's going to be very highly curated and it's going to be what I want. And if that person, staff will fit with what I'm doing, plus myself, you know. I mean, if it were a good match, if the items, they do a good match. But that is going to be later on. So all of this to say that by the end of the summer, most likely at some point in October, we're going to be moving Luz Upcycles to what I feel and I hope will be a permanent place, which will be, I don't know the name of the street, I can't pronounce it properly. I will put it in here. I need to get my daughters to pronounce it for me a couple of times so I can do it properly. I'm terrible. So hopefully Luz Upcycles will live in there. And hopefully I won't feel so reticent about doing marketing like I have been in here, because I knew I always was going to be here for a little bit, for a blip. A year is nothing in business. So hopefully I will be a little bit more happy to do marketing. In terms of everything I want to do is the products. I want to carry on doing my sewing patterns, my crochet patterns. And I would love to do workshops. I still really would love to do workshops. And this is the reason why I haven't started here. For the lack of people coming past and the fact that I am moving. So maybe come September I start, and then it's a little small walk and even a shorter bicycle ride. I think in a bike is about 3 minutes. And walking is about 7-10 minutes. So it doesn't take that long from there to here. So anyway, all this to say, this is the story of how I got to get my new shop. Never underestimate the power of conversations and interpersonal relationships, even if you don't know the people that much. Paul, the original Atelier tenant, took a like on what I was doing, and it took a like on me. And then he put a good word on the owners of the Atelier, the shop, for me. Then I spoke to them, and they got to like me too. My point is, I got both shops, this shop and the other shop. And I never saw an advertisement anywhere. It has been genuinely a word of mouth. It has been genuinely talking to people getting to know you, people getting to know what you do, and people liking you and liking what you do. And it is amazing. I sometimes have to pinch myself. I have known that I'm going to get this shop for a while, over a month now. I haven't told you because it's so far away in the future. I wanted to do building up to it. But at the same time, I think I need to start working in how I want the shop to look. Oh my God, how I want the shop to look. I am dreaming high, okay? In here, I just did everything on the shoestring. In that shop, I'm also going to be very frugal, don't get it wrong. I'm trying my best to do everything very frugal. But in terms of a style, it's going to be a pump up from here. Hopefully, it's going to be really quite beautiful. I want to create something that people walk in and it's an experience. It's not just the products that you can eat or the atmosphere of the place. So many people have told me that this place has a really cool vibe. And yes, but I also want it to be beautiful. And for that, I think I want to go down the Art Nouveau kind of a style. I will put a video soon with all my ideas and Pinterest. And basically, I'm telling you now because I want to start doing DIYs and I want to start making some stuff for the shop. And so I think it was only fair to tell you. So Luz Upcycles will live longer past this shop. Andreas Bonnstraat is being fantastic for me. I absolutely love it. But I'm very happy to move to a home that I will call my own. The couple couldn't be any nicer. The place is so much busier. I mean, there's bicycles coming from the bridge. You know, if you're coming off the bridge, you can do two things. Either go straight, at which point you will end up here, or turn right, and the first corner is the shop. The shop has one front window, there's another window, and then it's going to have double doors, and then another window. So it's going to be the whole corner. I'm already thinking of where I'm going to put my tables, where I'm going to do everything. I'm very excited. And I wanted to keep you in the loop because I will be working towards that. I will be working towards online, like my videos, my patterns. And for the shop, I want to be working on the decor, and I want to be working on what I'm going to be doing there. So I want to bring you along with me. So yeah, that is the tea. The tea for Luz Upcycles is that it looks like Luz Upcycle will carry on. She might be carry on, I don't know, for however long. I'm very, very, very excited, and I just wanted to share with you. So if you're still here, I did say it was going to be a chatty one. If you're still here after all this long time, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And yeah, this is an off video. This is a different type of video. I just wanted to tell you the story of how I came to the shop, because I think on its own, the story was already very interesting. I love Amsterdam, and I love Amsterdam people. People here are very nice. I have nothing but really good experiences. I have one or two, but the rest are all good. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're rooting for me. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.